Hello, one and all. It's my view of Mission Yozakura Family, Chapter 86, I Come to the Yozakura Family. And I've got to say, I was not surprised at all when I first saw that title. I've been expecting I'd move into the mansion since she was first introduced. In fact, I was expecting her to move in with her entire team. But I figured, the actual family would treat her as a distant relative, roommate, something like that. I figured the most we got out of this was, her bonding with Goliath, since she's basically a chimera made out of his cells, or I guess the cells of one of his relatives, not sure about that. I certainly was not expecting Mutsumi and Taiyo to basically adopt her within a week, and I was not expecting it to be so utterly freaking adorable. Oh my god. He made her a custom hat with ear holes. I freaking love it. I freaking love it. And this really shouldn't have been all that much a surprise to me. It's been shown time and again that Mutsumi and Taiyo are just great with kids. Taiyo is the eternal big brother, always trying to look after children because he wasn't able to protect his own little brother. I mean, you saw that way back in chapter, 4, 5, 6, when he saved that little girl from the human smugglers, and Mutsumi was just so amazing with Taiyo when he was, transformed into a kid a couple chapters ago. That was a weird chapter. But, they were just both great with kids, and so it makes sense they'd be perfect parents, even for a little girl they've only known for about a week. And really, the central theme of this series has always been family. It's even in the title. Even before Taiyo officially joined Mutsumi's family, she was always his family. She was always there for him, always supported him, even in his darkest moments. Even when he couldn't turn to anyone else or talk to anyone else, she was always there. And in order to pay her back, Taiyo became part of her family. Not just by becoming her husband, but by pushing himself beyond every imaginable limit to become a spy that was capable of protecting her. And I do just love the series when a step beyond I joining the family, and then, they all lived happily ever after, because that's not actually how it goes, and Taiyo knows that better than anyone. I mean, the reason why he could only rely on Mutsumi after his parents' death was because he was utterly incapable of making any new connections with people, because he was so afraid that they would leave him, that they would die on him, and then he'd be all alone again. He just couldn't put himself through that, and Ai is going through something very similar. She's afraid of, becoming friends with Mutsumi, becoming family with them, and then losing them, then being all alone. And what's more, she's even afraid that, her presence there will cause them to die. That for some reason, her being there will cause something to happen that will result in them getting killed, and she just can't go through that. She can't do that because they are such a wonderful, amazing, nice people, and she loves them so much. Oh, I love this family. I freaking love this family. And I love the rest of them as well. The rest of the siblings, we don't see them throughout this whole chapter. And that's not because, they're out of town, but because they don't want to scare her. They don't want to scare Ai by saying, hey, we're a bunch of strange new people. Let's be friends. They feel like that would overwhelm her. But they're not just ignoring her either. They're spying on her from a peephole, which seems, super creepy. But in this family, it's a term of endearment. They automatically fell in love with her. They care so much about her already. And they just want to be friends with her. They want to become family with her. And they already all got gifts for her. And there are some very, very weird gifts here. I mean, Shinzo, where exactly did you get this teddy bear? It has the word death on its stomach and its arm is a gun. There's like an eye carved into its brain. I pray to gods above that you actually had to invent this doll, that you actually had to create this, and it's not something you can find in some sort of toy store, because it's just so overwhelmingly creepy. Shion's all the much better, though, as she got her video game, which I'm pretty sure is supposed to be a parody of Resident Evil 8, which, oh god above, I'm pretty sure that might trigger some severe PTSD flashbacks for Ai after all the awful, terrifying experiments she underwent. Though at the same time, she's gone through such a true living hell that I feel like a video game like that wouldn't even bother her in the slightest. It would probably bore her. Nano got her snacks, which don't seem all that creepy, but knowing that from him, there's a fairly good chance they're incredibly poisonous. I mean, they're called neuronurin. Are those supposed to be like some sort of neurotoxin snacks? I could definitely see that being the case with him. And finally, Kengo got her a Hollywood child star cosmetic set, which is probably the creepiest gift out of all of them. I mean, get it, he's a master of disguise, he wants her to be master of disguise, but it just reminds me of childhood beauty pageants, and that just really, really creeps me out. But really though, he wants Ai to be a master of disguise. She has ears and a tail. How exactly are you expecting her to be a master of disguise? And what's more, a good chunk of this chapter is Taiyo and Mutsumi deciding on the best kindergarten to send her to. She has ears and a tail. How exactly are you planning on explaining that to the faculty there, to the fellow students there? I mean, yes, maybe a hat could cover her ears, but the tail is fairly noticeable. I don't think there's any real way to cover that besides maybe cutting it off. So Yeah, that's bad. That's really, really bad. That's gonna be, a big issue. I mean, maybe if this was like a kindergarten for spy children, they wouldn't be all that weirded out by it because there are some really, really weird looking spies, but I don't think regular kindergarten kids would be all that happy about, going to school with a part animal girl. And, that's not even the worst part. There's also the fact that, when she gets mad, she transforms fully into a wild animal, to a feral beast who is fully capable of shredding children very, very easily. So, yeah, that's a whole other problem. That's a whole other problem they have to deal with. I mean, she is able to transform somewhat, so I'm sure there's some mixture of meditation, medication, and training she can use to learn to retract the ears and tail, but then I feel like she'd be one panic attack away from them popping back up again, so that'd be, a really, really big issue. A much bigger issue might be the fact that her parents are very clearly teenagers, and she's, like 4 or 5 years old? I mean, Tayo talked about going to an open house and information session, but how exactly are you going to explain the fact that you're, 16, 17 years old, and you have a 4 or 5-year-old daughter? Yeah, that goes way beyond teen pregnancy and reaches the point where Child Protective Services needs to be called in. I mean, maybe he can argue, oh, I'm her older brother, I'm her uncle, I'm her cousin, something like that, but sooner or later the school's gonna wonder, okay, why have we never actually met her parents before? So yeah, that's definitely another issue they need to consider before sending her to kindergarten. And I'm just really excited to see what happens next with her. I mean, let's not forget, she has freaking superpowers, and she's growing up in a family full of spies. Sooner or later, she's gonna become a spy. She's gonna end up joining them on their missions. That's gonna be so freaking amazing to see. I mean, I'd rather not see her actually involved in combat because, I don't want to see her fighting against her will or anything like that. But, with her black fur and her speed, she could definitely do, infiltration missions, stealth missions, stuff like that. Maybe Kengo's cosmetics that will actually be useful for her. Oh, that'd be fun to see. That'd be really, really fun to say. And I really do think that moving forward, the family is going to need not only Ai's help, but the help of the rest of the Rainbow Flowers as well. I mean, I thought this last arc was going to be the final arc of the series. Tampopo was the final big bad, but the fact the series kept moving forward means there is a much bigger, much badder threat waiting in the wings. I mean, yes, we have Momo, the first head of the clan, all that, but they're going to be so much more dangerous than Tampopo was. And in order to stop them, the family is going to need the help of the Rainbow Flowers, so I cannot freaking wait to see that. I can't freaking wait to see Tayo and Ai going into battle together. Oh my god, that's going to be so freaking adorable. I'm going to love it. I'm going to freaking love it. But yeah, let me throw this down below. I don't usually cover this series, but this chapter was just so utterly wholesome and adorable and just the utter epitome of this entire series. I just had to cover it. And now that Ai's officially joined the family, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more wholesome and adorable chapters moving forward. And I might end up covering those as well. So be sure to like and subscribe so don't miss those videos. And until next time, peace!